So, have you been curious about the Nintendo Switch 2? I've had a good amount of time playing a couple of the video games, specifically Mario Kart World, and I'm here to talk about my favorite features, what I like, what I dislike, and hopefully it'll give you an idea of whether or not you should buy the Switch 2. So the Nintendo Switch 2 is the newest iteration of Nintendo's handheld gaming device. It keeps a lot of what we like about the Nintendo Switch 1, and it brings improvements that I would consider to be, pretty good. So here is the Nintendo Switch 2, and I'll turn it on so that we can see. While we have here the OLED Nintendo Switch 1, and as you guys can see, the size difference is noticeably different. 7.9 versus 7 inches. Well, I would say that there's a definite increase in brightness from the OLED version compared to the Nintendo Switch 2, but they both look very sharp. You don't lose any definition on any of the graphics. In fact, this one has higher resolution at 1080p, while this one only has 720p. When you put the Switch 2 into the dock, you do get up to 4K resolution, depending if your device that you're connecting it to, the TV or monitor that you're wiring it to, is capable of the 4K resolution, while the Nintendo Switch 1 only has up to 1080p when you dock it. So that's a big difference that I noticed. The battery life is actually a little shorter on the Nintendo Switch 2, which is a surprise, to be honest, because you would expect that the new version would have a longer battery life, but in fact the Nintendo Switch 1 has the longer battery life. The Joy-Cons are a little different actually, because for the Nintendo Switch 1, if you press this little button right there, you have to slide them out. With the Nintendo Switch 2, however, if you push on this little spot right here, they disconnect, and then it has a magnet mechanism where it clicks back on to its place. Honestly, it feels like it's a lot easier to just, it feels intuitive, it's quick. I have seen videos where the magnet sort of fades, or I would say that the mechanism fades and it's not as responsive as it was when you initially got the product. But overall, if you just take care of it, it'll last a very long time, I believe. So I want to talk about the storage. The Nintendo Switch 2 has 256 internal storage, while the Nintendo Switch 1 only has 64 gigabytes of internal storage. So if you love to game a lot and you have a lot of video games, obviously you'll eventually need a game card and SD card. And just to note, not all SD cards are compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. So you gotta make sure that it's compatible before you purchase an SD card for the Nintendo Switch 2. If you purchase the Nintendo Switch 2 with the Mario Kart World bundle, it is priced at $499. But if you purchase the Switch 2 system by itself, it's priced at $449.99. So I recommend buying the bundle because the Mario Kart World game is designed for this specific device. And if you buy it separately, it'll be a little more expensive. So I think it's just a better idea to get the bundle. They do weigh about the same. This one weighs 500 grams while this one weighs 420 grams. You really don't feel the difference unless you're gaming for a really long time. So the pros and the cons. The pros, I would say better graphics, cool redesign on the joysticks, the fact that you can play higher FPS games. It just feels like the performance is definitely better. The cons are that it's a little more expensive. It doesn't have the bright OLED display, but it's still a great system no matter what. I would say that if you have the money and you don't own any Nintendo systems, go for the Switch 2. But if you own the Nintendo Switch 1, you can totally wait. Like, there's not that many games available as of right now. It really just depends on what you need. So those were the features that I like about the Nintendo Switch 2. It sort of keeps the original design that we all love, but it improves on those designs, and it basically creates a better system overall. But I just want to hear what you guys think. What are your favorite features? What are the games that you're excited about? Let me know down below, and if you have any questions or anything you want to add, please also let me know down below. But thank you so much for watching this video, and see you next time.